I have a bit of a strange relationship with warm compresses. I know they help my MGD, but sometimes my eyes actually feel drier after I do one. And this is interesting because we are doing warm compresses to help our eyes, right? So shouldn't they feel better afterwards? But I don't think it's always that simple. I've been dealing with MGD for more than 2 years, and my experience with warm compresses has actually changed a lot during that time. In the beginning, when my glands were severely blocked, a warm compress could give me a few hours of relief. I think even getting a little bit of oil out made a big difference at that point. But later, when my glands started working better, something changed. Now I usually feel good for about 10 minutes after a warm compress, and then my eyes actually feel drier than they did before. Not painful, not burning, not irritated, just dry. After some time, everything settles down and my eyes go back to my normal. And I've noticed another interesting thing. If I do just a warm compress, this dryness comes later and it's actually milder. But if I massage my eyelids afterwards, it comes faster and feels stronger. Heat makes the oil inside the meibomian glands more fluid and massage helps release more of it. My personal theory is that because my glands still don't function normally, I may release quite a lot of the oil that's easily available at that moment, but they can't immediately keep supplying new oil in the same way healthy glands can. So after that initial improvement, my tear film may temporarily become less stable again, and that's when I start feeling dry. It would also explain why the dryness comes sooner and feels stronger when I massage my eyelids after the compress. For me, there is actually a very similar story with gland expression. Expression was probably the most important thing that helped me get out of that terrible condition I was in. But after every expression, my eyes would actually feel worse for quite a long time, sometimes for about 2 weeks. I knew this pattern very well. I would have the expression, my eyes would get worse, and then slowly they would settle down again. And over time, my overall condition was getting better and better. I think a simple analogy would be physical therapy after an injury. Sometimes the exercises you do during recovery don't make you feel better immediately. You may even feel more uncomfortable afterwards. But you don't judge whether the therapy is working by how you feel 10 minutes after doing the exercise. You look at what happens over time, whether your movement and function are gradually improving. Of course, physical therapy and warm compresses are completely different things, but I think the principle is similar. Some treatments are meant to make you feel better immediately. Others are things you do consistently because you are trying to improve the underlying problem over time. And for me, warm compresses belong much more to the second category. They are not like taking a painkiller for a headache. You take a pill, the headache goes away, and you immediately know it worked. With warm compresses, the idea is different. If the oil inside your meibomian glands is thick, you are trying to warm it, make it more fluid, and help it move out of the glands. And if that oil has been thick and stagnant for a long time, I don't think we should necessarily expect a few warm compresses to change everything. It can be a very long process, like in my case. If warm compresses cause pain, significant inflammation, strong redness, swelling, skin irritation, or some other reaction, that's a completely different situation. I'm talking about people who generally tolerate warm compresses well, but maybe don't always feel immediate relief afterwards. And especially if you know that your MGD involves thick meibum, I really believe regular warm compresses can be beneficial for some people. I've read so many stories from people with mild MGD who said that doing them consistently for a few months was a game changer. That wouldn't have been enough for me in the beginning. My glands were so severely blocked that during my first professional expressions, almost nothing came out. I needed much more than just warm compresses. But now my glands are functioning much better. I can absolutely see the benefits. So if you don't feel amazing after every warm compress, it doesn't automatically mean it's doing nothing or that it's making your MGD worse. Some things don't give us an immediate reward. Sometimes it's the consistency over weeks and months that matters much more than how your eyes feel 10 minutes later.